Well, it's been a long time, YouTube fam, hasn't it?
Guess who is literally back from the dead? Yeah, hello everyone. And the fact that 2021 has already flown by so fast proves that time does fly by when you are not having fun as well. And this year has been quite a difficult year for me. I think like half to a third of the year I've been in a rut. I've been having ups and downs. The motivation of 5 years powering through my career, trying to achieve some of my goals, it kind of just vanished. That fire went, and I think it's been 3 months of just burnout and recuperating, resting, and I feel like this is going to be a deep video on lessons I've learned this year. So make sure you grab a coffee, grab some tea, because we are just going to chill here in my office today. They don't know I'm filming here. Lesson number 1 was that I depended my happiness on external circumstances. And just hear me out, there are a few things that happened to me this year. Let me just be really transparent with you all, because one, I think a lot of you who follow me on Instagram have seen that I got rejected by the MC Awards. I didn't win Top Consultant of the Year. I came in the top 10. But 2, I also got rejected by a boy for the first time in my life. And I'm not doing the whole girl boss thing, but honestly, genuinely, I had this inner peace, this inner contentment before these things happened in my life, where I was just happy, by myself, doing what I was doing. Didn't need anyone. Didn't need any validation or anything like that. And then when these 2 rejections happened to me, and these are the ones that happened most recently, which is why I'm talking about them, the inner peace, I can't explain it. It just was chaotic. And what it made me realize was that I was depending my happiness on other people's definition of success. I was tying my self-worth, my happiness to their definition of success and benchmarking myself. But I read this amazing quote, and it goes along the lines of the same boiling water that hardens the egg also softens the potato. Mind blown, right? And it kind of shows to you it's not the external circumstances, it's what you're made from. And often the external circumstances you can't control. What you can control is how you approach things, how you see life, and how you pick yourself up. So a really rambly way of saying is focus on yourself, focus on being confident, being resilient, and it's fine to overthink for a day or for 2, but don't spiral down, don't be obsessive, don't benchmark yourself against what other people think, and once you can only do that when you are confident about who you are. So I'm going to stop now because I rambled on too much. My second lesson is that you need to take bigger risks. And people always say that, hey, saying no is better for your peace than saying yes. And I completely disagree. I just feel that when something is really important and when it's important enough, you will go for it, even if the odds are not in your favor. And I don't just mean risk in terms of just setting ambitious goals. I also mean doing things outside of your comfort zone. There's been viewpoints which I've had, which I've been hey, for instance, I would never go on a dating app, okay? And it's not that, and I feel uncomfortable going on a dating app. The idea of dating apps is very uncomfortable, putting myself out there. I feel like, if it happens, it happens. In terms of finding someone, without someone, I'm completely fine, and that's still the case. And I know it doesn't sound really risky putting yourself on a dating app, but for me, it actually is. But I was like, okay, let's try to do things outside of my comfort zone. Let's just try it, time box it for a month, just see what happens. And you also always find that the first step is the hardest step, that, putting myself out there, for instance, in this case, it's always the hardest step. But once you do it, you realize, why was I even scared? Why was I even doubting this? It's completely fine. So put yourself outside of your comfort zone, take bigger risks. And that is something which I hope everyone does this year. So lesson number 3 is getting chilly. Lesson number 3 is don't subscribe to other people's definition of fun, because I feel that we often change ourselves to fit in with other people, and essentially we're people pleasing. Well, I am a people pleaser. There are definitely times where I've licked people's asses, probably, but I feel that fun means something different to everyone, right? Fun to a lot of people means partying and drinking and just having a good time and spending your money, or buying things to fit in. Don't try to change who you are and your values and your morals and yourself just because you don't think it looks cool for other people. Don't care what other people think. At the end of the day, you at your deathbed, I know this is really morbid to say, but you on your deathbed need to look back and be like, I lived a really happy life. So do things which will allow you to think that. So the next lesson I've learned is emotional self self-control. And I think that I'm someone which I kind of just say what I want, I follow my heart, I have no filter. But I do think there is something around following your brain, right? Like, I think our generation think it's cool not to care, but I think it's cool to care. I think it's cool to show effort, but I also think it's really important to set some boundaries. Often I am quite irrational. I give reactions. I don't really give like a response, but I've mastered my emotions. And I think you come across more mature when you've kind of mastered your emotions, when you've, have some emotional self-control. I'm not saying don't be expressive, but I'm saying kind of just take a step back, have a deep breath, which I need to learn, and kind of do what's right for that situation. And when you look back on that situation, you'd be really proud of yourself. So the next lesson I've learned from 2021 is that I have constantly always thought about the future. What is that going to bring me? What do I want to achieve? And where is this going to go? And I do not do well in situations where there's uncertainty, where there's instability, and I just kind of need like initially some sort of like certainty. And what I've really realized is that, hey, it's fine not to rush things. We have so much time in our lives. Just kind of live in the present, live in the now, live your life, do things which make you feel right. And don't try to rush to get to the end of the destination, because it's all about the journey, and you're going to learn the most from the journey rather than from just skipping to the ending. So the next lesson I've learned from 2021 is to challenge my own beliefs. There's been beliefs in my life which have been instilled in me by my parents, by my environment, by people around me, and they've influenced me, and I've kind of just taken them for granted. But what I've really learned from 2021 is that, hey, every belief that I have, do I really believe it's helping me, or do I think it's hurting me? And side note, but you often find that the older you get, the more it's more about like what you are willing to give up rather than what you want. So I have been trying to literally take a belief, and I'm not sure if I believe it's hurting or helping me. What I'm doing is actually like doing the opposite of that belief I have, time boxing it for a few weeks, and then come to a decision like, what do I actually think? Is this like something which I want to add to my values? Is this something which I want to live by, or not? And you will find that there'll be loads of things which you will honestly want to change, and which you honestly won't agree with. And it could be some small things from what food you like, okay, or what you like to do, but also just some really big fundamental things in what you want or what you're willing to give up in life, shall I say. The next lesson I've learned is practicing detachment, right? So like when you like something, you kind of just like pluck it like a flower. When you love something, you water it daily, you get obsessed about it. And sometimes there are goals which I've been really obsessive about. When there's a new friend I've made, I get really attached to them. But what you need to realize is that you need to accept what comes into your life isn't going to stay there for the rest of your life, and that's okay. It's fine if you don't care about the goals you cared about 6 months ago. It's fine to let your friends go in your life, right? What is kind of meant to be will be really easy to do. It'll be really effortless to do. You won't force yourself to do something. And whenever you feel like you're forcing yourself, it just means like it probably wasn't for you. So be okay with letting go. And this is probably the hardest lesson, and a lesson I'm still trying to learn as well. So that's basically it. I'm going to wrap it up for now. I've kind of rambled on for a long time, but I will have a video on habits which I'm taking into 2022, which hopefully will be a bit more structured than this. But I'm back into the scene, and I am so excited to do a few more videos, and hopefully more videos more regularly for all of you. So I will see you soon. Ciao.